Hi, this is Noma Dimitri from the Alpine Garden, and today, as you can see, the weather is a little bit shitty, even though we're inside May. But it's necessary because we need some rain for all these things to start growing. I can show you. No, you cannot see. I was going to show you there's still snow up in the mountains, but so quick. Which plants do you eat the stalk of? Okay. When I so usually you eat the fruit or you eat a vegetable, but in which plants do you eat the stalk? I think you have already come up with celery. Yes, celery stalks. What's the other one? You use it for desserts. Stalk. Yes, rhubarb. And there she is. There is the rhubarb. This rhubarb is a friend of mine because I'm moved by her. I didn't. There was a time years ago when I didn't have space in the gardens because rhubarbs, as you can see, they become fairly large. This is about a fourth of the size, so it's going to really dominate. So a while ago, I had no space in the garden. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get rid of it. I felt sorry for it. So I said, okay, I'll transplant it to the shittiest place in the garden. And if it survives, it's a survivor and a keeper, and I will keep it. But if it does the least amount of bullshit, I'm just going to let it go. So I placed it on top of this. You see, this is just all stones and brambles and garbage and stuff. It's kind of the garbage pile of the garden, and I planted it right here, and it's done so well. Even in this shitty place, I never water it, I never do anything. Of course, I never fertilize, but here she is, and she's doing fine, and she's ready to give up her stalks, which is what we like in rhubarb. So you can, if you lift up the leaves, then you can see the desired stalks. Okay, so this is what we really want. As often in life and very often in gardening, it's better not to be too greedy. These stalks will get bigger. In fact, they will get twice thicker and twice bigger as the season goes forward. But you don't want that, because as they get bigger and they get longer and the leaves get heavier, what's going to happen to the stalks? Think about it. They will be longer and they will need to support more weight. This means that they will need to be stronger. How do plants get stronger? They make fiber. Do you want to have a fibrous piece of rhubarb stalk for your crumble, for your cookies, for your cakes? No, you don't. You don't want the fibrous one. You want the juicy, tart, rhubarby taste, but no fiber. So this is a very good time to pull them out. So what do you do? How do you pull them out? You put your hand in there, and you hold from the base of the stalk, of any stalk you want, okay, of this one, let's say, and then you twist it. I'm trying to do it with my left hand as I'm filming with my right. Let's see if it's gonna work. It's not working very well. There we go. Okay. So you twist it, and there you have it. So here is our desired stalk of rhubarb. Already you can see it has, of course, a little bit of fiber already, because it's got to support a very heavy leaf, which is this one. And here it is. One note of caution if you're doing your own rhubarb. The stalks, they are ready to use, they're perfect. You can also you have your own rhubarb recipe. I don't need to tell you what you're gonna do with it, or maybe I will in another video. We'll cook with rhubarb. But there's one thing that's really important. The leaf is poisonous, it's toxic, so you do not want to eat any of the leaves. So you cut cleanly right here and you get rid of the leaf. Let's see if I can snap it with one hand. I'm not really sure I can. Let's see. Yes. So here it is. I snapped it off, and I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times, because I don't want anyone to get poisoned. There. Because of me. What you want is the stalk, okay, and not the leaf. The leaf You can do lots of things. One of them that you can do is you can use it. I've seen it in Asia all the time. People do it when it rains. They cut these big tropical leaves, and in Indonesia, in Thailand, everywhere I've been. And as soon as it rains, they just cut a leaf and they stick it in their hand, and this is how they have a hat. So that's all you come. You come here, you twist the stalks, you take them, you have them. Now, do you need to make your rhubarb pie immediately or not? Not at all. You can put these things in any kind of plastic bag, stick them in the freezer, and whenever you want, even a couple of years from now, you can get them out, defrost them, and use them for your rhubarb desserts, whatever they might be. Okay, one for those of you, I know there are those of you that are just had enough and they heard what they needed to hear and you want to go, but there's always some of you that want an extra level of detail. So I'll give you now the extra level of detail for those of you that are more serious about gardening and about growing this. How many stalks can I take? This is a living plant, it's a perennial plant. That means it comes year after year after year, okay? So really, think about it, okay? If I cut all the stalks of the plant, can it possibly be good for the plant? Not really, right? I must leave some plant above ground because there's of course an equal amount of plant below ground, the root system, but I must leave a certain amount of plant above so that it can receive solar energy, it can photosynthesize, regain the strength that it lost by me cutting the leaves off, and be ready to do the same thing again and again and be there for me next year. Otherwise, if I'm too greedy, I'm not gonna have a plant next year. So the question is, how many do you plant? And the answer, how many do you cut? And the answer is, if I'm feeling very nice to the plant, I'll cut half only. If I'm feeling a little bit less generous, I'll cut 2/3. And if I'm really stingy and I want a lot of rhubarb, I'll leave 2 stalks. And that should help it go back to its original form through the summer and be good next year as well. So that's what you do. So that's it. I hope you learned about what you wanted to learn about rhubarb, and I'm gonna finish cutting some of these guys, and I think I might just bake something tonight. Take good care. Noma Dimitri from the Alpine Garden.